Off Prince Harry. Oh, he's been out of the news for 5 minutes, so he's back in again because he's officially changed his country of residence from the UK to the United States of America. Yee-haw. And in an apparent snub, he backdated his new status to the exact day where he and Meghan were asked to vacate Frogmore Cottage by King Charles. Now, the change of address was filed this week for his sustainable tourism organisation, Travelist. I smile just because of the amount of private jets he used. But anyway, although the date of change is listed as June the 29th last year, not when the Duke and Duchess emigrated in early 2020. Meanwhile, Prince William returned to public duties today for the first time since Kate's cancer diagnosis with a visit to a food surplus redistribution charity in Surrey. Well, joining me to discuss this is the royal commentator, Kinsey Schofield. So, Kinsey, thank you so much for joining us on Primetime. Should we be surprised that Harry is registered as a resident of the US? Probably for tax purposes, isn't it?
Well, I do agree with other commentators that the date is significant. This is, another Prince Harry hissy fit, because if Prince Harry wanted to be a citizen of the United States, he could certainly go through the proper channels. But I don't think he wants to. I think according to the Immigration and Nationalization Act, if he decides to become a U.S. citizen, he will be forced to renounce any title or order of nobility he holds before he acquires that American citizenship. And I don't think that's something he's willing to give up. I think that clearly him and his wife have been marching that since they moved to the United States. Remember when CNN's Anderson Cooper asked him, why not renounce your titles as Duke and Duchess? Harry, it wasn't necessarily what he said. He said, and what difference would that make? The difference is that it's the law. It was how defiantly he replied to that statement. He told Good Morning America in February that he considered becoming a U.S. citizen, but it wasn't a high priority. So while it is a nice change of address on, documentation, the reality is he still wants to have that title and wants to be considered the Duke of Sussex, the Prince of America is the reality of it all.
Okay, so let's just talk about that, because there is, in my view, a slightly entitled view that comes across when Harry talks about either the title, almost saying, well, I was born with it, so I should keep it. But then, of course, the lack of respect of it, that if one goes back to the words of the late Queen, that it was reported that she said, well, you can't be half in, half out, you've got to pick. Because the thing is that if you're in that institution, we all know that you get huge benefits from it in terms of the title that you can use, the benefits that you get, the situations and the things that you get invited to and the people that you will meet. Well, if you're out of it, then you really shouldn't have any benefit from it. And as a result of that, it's kind of duplicitous, is it not, of Harry to continue to keep that title in order to monetize the situation for him and his wife.
Well, another argument I would make is that he's trying to get involved in American politics, whether he is, campaigning for the education of deep fakes throughout this upcoming election, whether he was sitting down during the Times 100 special on ABC with Meghan Markle and without blatantly endorsing Joe Biden, kind of endorsing Joe Biden during the last election. So he's campaigned to change the way we communicate on social media while calling our First Amendment bonkers. As an American, I struggle with Harry wanting to keep the title, wanting to keep, wanting us to refer to him in this manner and talking down to us like he's an authority on anything, but refusing to renounce his title to become an actual citizen of the United States.
But, Kinsey, isn't that part of the problem? That, for example, you talk about him talking down to us because maybe we don't understand, maybe, he has an entitled position. Fine. Empowering travellers to make more sustainable choices. So that's the words on the Travelist website. And as soon as you go into the detail, they talk about the various choices, the various aviation issues. Here is somebody who travels a lot. Here is somebody who insists on having security details, who travel in a lot of cars. Here is somebody who lives in a parallel universe that says to us, you must be more careful of your travel solutions because of what it does to our planet. Meanwhile, if I want to go and see my dad in the UK, if I want to go to a pop concert, if I want to do this, if I want to do that, I'm going to go on a private jet and I'm going to travel my way. And he's put his name to this thing. It's just so hypocritical, isn't it?
It's so hypocritical. And, I think he would argue safety for why I think I've heard him argue safety for why he takes private jets. And I can tell you, as somebody that flies out of the same airport that Prince Harry does, I get a full body cavity search. Okay. And nobody buys me dinner for me to get through the security line. It is the safest place to be, Prince Harry. You can go sit with the nobodies, you can sit with the regular people on any sort of plane. So I completely agree with you when it comes to Travelist. It's ridiculous when he jumps on any private jet offered to him.
I mean, don't get me wrong, given half an opportunity, if I were, I would jump on a private jet, but then I wouldn't necessarily call for you or others not to if you were given the opportunity. Kinsey Schofield, thank you so much for joining us, giving us your views on Harry and the latest twists and turns there.